Thưa quý vị khán giả, Azerbaijan là một quốc gia ở khu vực Tây Á với tiềm năng to lớn về khoáng sản, du lịch, cảng biển và logistics, nông nghiệp và thương mại nông sản. Việt Nam và Azerbaijan đã chính thức thiết lập quan hệ ngoại giao vào tháng 9 năm 1992. Sau 30 năm, mối quan hệ ngoại giao giữa hai nước đã phát triển mạnh mẽ cả về chiều rộng và chiều sâu, trên cả phương diện song phương và đa phương. Tuy nhiên, đến thời điểm hiện tại, có thể nói rằng mối quan hệ kinh tế giữa Việt Nam và Azerbaijan vẫn chưa có được sự phát triển xứng tầm với quan hệ ngoại giao giữa hai nước. Nhằm góp phần thúc đẩy quan hệ kinh tế, thương mại và đầu tư Việt Nam-Azerbaijan, tạp chí Kinh tế Việt Nam VN Economy có cuộc phỏng vấn ông Anna Imanov, đại sứ đặc mệnh toàn quyền Cộng hòa Azerbaijan tại Việt Nam. As the ambassador of Azerbaijan to Vietnam, what do you think are the fields with the biggest potential for trade and economic cooperation between the two countries?
You know, we have a big potential in general in trade and investments. And first, what comes to my mind is international transportations and transport cooperation in this field, because Azerbaijan is located between Asia and Europe. Azerbaijan has been invested a lot to develop its infrastructure, including implementing such a big infrastructure or transport projects like Baku-Tbilisi cars, which connects our railways with the Turkish and further to Europe. So there are a lot of possibilities to developing cooperation in the field of transporting goods from Vietnam to Europe through Azerbaijan and back. In other spheres, tourism is also have a big potential. We think that in this field cooperation will develop fast in this after COVID pandemic time. Mutual investments, I think, also one of the directions of future cooperation between our countries, and of course trade. We are producing different goods which could be interesting for Vietnamese partners, and I'm sure that Vietnamese exporters can also find partners in Azerbaijan for their goods. So I think that in the soonest future we will witness increasing of trade cooperation between two countries.
As we all know, Azerbaijan has liberated its territories in August 2020. How has this impacted the economy of your country, and what opportunities has this created for Vietnam and Azerbaijan economic cooperation?
Yes, Azerbaijan liberated its territories, which about 20% of our lands. It's quite huge. It equals to entire territory of Lebanon, so quite big. And we are going to, this territory has a big potential for agricultural development, for water energy, so etc. So for tourism, of course, and this energy, this territory, there's a liberation of those lands will definitely contribute to further development of Azerbaijani economy, especially after rebuilding, because now those lands are full of mines, so they should be demined, and after demining activities there will be rebuilding activities. Actually it's going on. We have already built the first airport, international airport, several roads have been built, and etc. So it's big projects are being implemented there. Yes, it can be contributed also to the relationship between Azerbaijan and Vietnam, because there are a huge, enormous reconstruction activities in those areas, and everything related to reconstruction can be applicable there. And those companies which are even here in Vietnam working in a construction, including construction companies, companies producing construction materials, companies in different way related to construction, they can come to our market and participate on reconstruction activities in Azerbaijan, and of course investors are also welcome. I want to tell you that many companies from different countries has already expressed interest to participate on those reconstruction activities, but the policy of Azerbaijan is that first of all the priority will be for the countries which supported Azerbaijan during the war, and Vietnamese companies are more than welcome to come to Azerbaijan, to work, to invest, to build a business relationship, and the Embassy of Azerbaijan is ready to support them. The Embassy of Azerbaijan is ready to extend all support needed to those who want to build partnership relationship and business connections with Azerbaijani counterparts.
And how about the cooperation between the two countries in seaport and logistics?
You know, as I mentioned, we consider cooperation in the field of logistics and transportation as one of the key directions of future development of mutual relational cooperation. It has a big potential. Azerbaijan has been built a big port in Caspian Sea in order to receive goods from Asia and further to send them to Europe and vice versa. We would wish to work closer with Vietnamese partners for establishing port-to-port relationship. So I think it is really a promising area of future cooperation, I believe. Logistics, when we speak about logistics, of course, again, it is international transportations, and international transportation not only from Vietnam to Azerbaijan and return, because you know that Vietnam transporting goods, Vietnam's turnover with Europe, EU, it's about I think close to 60 billion. It's a big, a huge amount of products are being exported from Vietnam to Europe. And for your information, let's say if one container before pandemic was transported to Europe with a price of between $2,000 and $3,000. So now the price to transport one container from Vietnam to Europe, it's about I think $13,000–14,000. So the change. So of course Vietnamese companies are interested to find a ways to reduce the amount of money they pay for transportation, and of course to try to find a better ways to transport their goods faster. So we believe that Azerbaijan can offer to Vietnamese partners solutions to how to decrease the amount paid for transportations, as well as how to bring Vietnamese goods to Europe faster. Especially when we speak about door-to-door transportations, when it goes by trains. So if it would go by train from Vietnam to China and further to Kazakhstan, and then Azerbaijan, Turkey and Europe. And when you send it by train, then you can deliver door to door, you know, your goods to any addresses in Europe, and you want. And another thing that what is important, and it just happened a week ago, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Georgia, and Kazakhstan has signed an agreement on providing Trans-Caspian transportations. So the idea is behind of this agreement is to simplify the custom procedures, to come to some certain tariffs which will let transit countries like China or Vietnam to faster transport their goods and to get a better prices for that. So I think this agreement between those 4 countries open a new opportunities for Vietnamese transporters for bringing their goods to Europe. I hope that Vietnamese companies which are dealing with international transportations will pay attention on that, and the Embassy of Azerbaijan in Vietnam would be glad to support them in terms of finding partners in Azerbaijan, or go to more detailed discussions with Azerbaijani partners on building working relationship and start to use a new route for bringing Vietnamese goods to Europe.
As far as I know, Azerbaijan is a country with long history, rich culture, and a lot of beautiful destinations that Vietnamese tourists might be very happy to discover. And Vietnam also has many interesting things to offer to Azerbaijani tourists. So do you have any idea to promote the tourist flows between the 2 countries?
Yes, of course. We have what to offer as Azerbaijan. We have what to offer to Vietnamese tourists. And of course, Vietnam has many to offer to Azerbaijan tourists. And this is a field which we try to develop and work on this. Just before COVID-19 pandemic, we together with Qatar Airways, our embassy, we organized a visit of tourism companies and representatives of tourism companies from Vietnam to Azerbaijan for farm trip, and they found it very promising. They even opened a new group tourist line to Azerbaijan. Unfortunately, because of pandemic and travel restrictions, it was impossible to go further on this. But now, since travel restrictions in Vietnam has been eased, and in Azerbaijan as well, so we have more possibilities now for mutual travels of tourists, and we are now working with travel companies of Vietnam, trying to help them to build a working relationship with a partnership with Azerbaijani companies. So I think that after building working relationship and cooperation between companies, there will be already a good possibility for increasing the travel of tourists or number of tourists from both sides. Meanwhile, we are looking forward to work closer with media, including your organization and others, in providing more information to public of Vietnam, since we are here in Vietnam, so public of Vietnam about Azerbaijan. Because in Azerbaijan, you can go if you go in summer, you enjoy the beach and a lot of summer activities. You go in winter, you enjoy skiing resorts, quite very well known 5-star skiing resorts. Azerbaijan has fantastic cuisine. Vietnamese have rice, but Azerbaijan has more than 50 dishes with different kind of pilafs with the rice. So, and many other things we can offer. A lot of cultural and historic places, cultural activities. So I think that Vietnamese tourists will find many interesting things in Azerbaijan. And Baku city, it's like we preserve historical sites and the old city, and has been developed the other parts of the city, so it's, you can touch, you can see, you can feel the old, and then you can enjoy the modern part of the city.
What kinds of agricultural products that you think your country can import more from my country? and Vietnam can buy more from Azerbaijan. And how can the two countries boost cooperation in agriculture, in your point of view?
I think that Vietnamese tropical fruits, for instance, can find Azerbaijan as a good market.
Yeah.
We are also love rice. Rice producers can, export their goods to Azerbaijan. Coffee.
Yeah.
Even though Azerbaijanis are tea drinkers, so more tea producers of Vietnam maybe can sell their products, but more and more people prefer coffee as well. So, and they actually don't know how good is Vietnamese coffee.
Oh.
So, from Azerbaijan to Vietnam, we have a very nice fruits and vegetables as well. They are very famous in our neighboring countries. But Vietnam, unfortunately, is quite far. Maybe that's why I don't know much about this. So what we need to do for, and by the way, the cotton as well, since we speak about agriculture, because Azerbaijan produces cotton, and exports cotton. And Vietnam imports cotton. 99% of cotton used in Vietnam is importing one. And your textile production has about I think it's a big part of your economy. And from export you earn, I think, around 36 billion US dollars. So it's a huge amount supporting your country, and some of that money your country spends for buying cotton, and we can sell cotton, and maybe this can be one of the interesting directions of future cooperation. What we need to do is because you're asking what should be done in order to boost cooperation in agriculture. So the problem in agriculture cooperation, because our companies, they don't know about each other well enough. And let's say they don't participate in let's say the fairs. They don't participate in exhibitions organized in Azerbaijan and Vietnam. So they don't know each other market, so they don't show the interest. So the starting point should be, of course, trying to start to participate in exhibitions. So our embassy is ready to help them for finding partners in our region, in our country. And of course, we would be happy to organize some business meetings between the agriculture companies of both Azerbaijan and Vietnam. If our Vietnamese friends will show interest, Azerbaijani embassy can help with that. Now it is easier because we can do it in video format. So we have a big potential in this sphere, and I do hope that in a soonest future we will see more, positive developments in this direction.
How long have you been in Vietnam, and what impressions do you have of this country in terms of economic development?
So I've been here for almost 10 years. I do love Vietnam and do enjoy my stay here. And about economic developments, of course, I'm impressed. I'm impressed how actively economy of Vietnam is developing, and I'm impressed by the performance of Vietnamese government. Really, I mean, so many measures are being implemented to make your economy stronger, to make your development is more active. One of the key decisions, I think, it is opening up of your country for for the international partners. So because Vietnam has signed a list of extremely important agreements on free trade agreements with international partners. So those free trade agreements, of course, they give a strong impetus. They boosted economic development of Vietnam. The decisions which were made for attracting investments, it's another crucial decision of your government to create favorable conditions for investors to come and invest in Vietnam. So, and of course, another reason why investors coming to Vietnam, it is because they trust to your country. They trust that it is stable, it is protecting foreign investors, and the stability, the providing of preferable, very good conditions for foreign investors, supporting them, and opening up the country for international trade activities by signing free trade agreements. All these activities, they of course serve to boosting economy of Vietnam, and this is quite impressive. And I have no doubt that in soonest future we will see Vietnam as one of the most actively developing countries in the world, and we will witness more and more achievements of your country. I have no doubts about that.